Okay, y'all, I am sorry, but I had to come right back because something told me to check those documents before I ended that live. There's been like 3 or 4 documents dropped today. And one of them is this one right here, guys. You all should be able to see it pretty good there. I enlarged it. Yes, I did. All right. Now, this was filed 9/5 today. Okay. It says, Plaintiff James Timothy Norman, defended Norman's motion to bar the government from calling Michelle Griggs as a witness at trial. Defendant Timothy Norman, by and through his undersigned attorneys, respectfully moves this court for the entry of an order barring the government from calling Michelle Griggs as a witness at trial, and states as follows. On Sunday, September the 4th, 2022 at 9:20 p.m., the government produced for the very first time the witness statements of Ms. Griggs. The witness statements did not come in the form of written statements, but rather consist of audio files of her interview. Ms. Griggs is the mother of the decedent. I think I said that right. Andre Montgomery. The government intentionally sat on and did not produce the Griggs statements until Sunday, September the 4th, 2022 at 9:20 p.m. The government has been sitting on these materials for almost 1 year. The government continues to believe that the rules do not apply to them in this courtroom. Boy, they really don't. Now, why do they think they're going to keep the mama? That's like asking, you know what, I'm not going to go there. These materials clearly constitute Giglio materials, and after further review, they may turn out to be Brady materials as well. Moreover, defendant and his counsel are clearly prejudiced by this intentionally late production because they will be unable to have their client review them at all prior to trial. In addition, defendant and his counsel are further prejudiced by this intentionally late production for the reason that they are attempting to review the 42 witness files containing more than 50 different witnesses' statements in the form of paper, audio, and video, which were produced by the government for the very first time on August 26, 2022. I can't believe they would have the audacity to try and keep the mother of Andre from testifying. Wherefore, defendant Timothy Norman, by and through his undersigned attorneys, respectfully move, this court for the entry of an order barring the government from calling Michelle Griggs as a witness and for such other and further relief as is appropriate. I wonder what Miss Michelle Griggs had to say. That I do not know. And that's signed by Michael Leonard. Now, guys, what are you all saying? Let me just leave that up for a minute so you all can see that. But as you can see, they don't want Miss Michelle Griggs. Hey, Taylor Made, how you doing? Taylor Made is in the building. Welcome back, everybody. I just wanted to go over there was a few documents dropped, so I wanted to go over them real quick. Let me find, there's another one. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. Where is it? Let me go back over here. There's several documents that were dropped on 9/5. I think there was 3. So I'm going to leave that one up while I go and look for the other one. So then motion to dismiss. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hold on a second. Let me go back. So there's 3 documents. I already read the motion in limine. So this is a motion. Defendant Norman's renewed motion to dismiss. Okay, let's go to this one right here. So now, this is the one about Michelle Griggs where they're trying to keep her from testifying, okay? Whew, there's just so much. Let me try and pull up the other one, guys. Let me try and pull up the other one real quick. All right, so I have it here. Let me blow it up so we can see it much better. All right, so United States District Court. Now, this was found 9-5. Plaintiff versus James Timothy Norman. Defendant Norman's renewed motion to dismiss based upon Brady violations with respect to Chris Carroll and for the entry of an order allowing the docketing of the Carroll audio tapes under seal in the event the Brady issue is ever reviewed. Defendant Norman, by and through his undersigned attorneys, respectfully renews its motion to dismiss the indictment based upon the government's Brady violations with respect to Chris Carroll and states as follows. The government alleges that Mr. Norman was involved in a M for hire involving Andre Montgomery. The government does not claim that the admitted shooter Travell Hill received directions or instructions from Mr. Norman to shoot Montgomery. Rather, the government claims that Hill met with Carroll and that Carroll purportedly discussed with him the S of Montgomery. On August 26th of 2022, the government produced for the very first time the witness statements of Carroll. They are lengthy. They are not in writing. Rather, they consist of audio tapes of Carroll's interviews with the government. They were intentionally withheld in violation of Brady for a year or more. Chris Carroll was on the tape. Chris Carroll was in like first 48. He was sitting in that room just singing like a bird on his old homeboy, partner in crime from the Missouri State Penitentiary, his roommate, his bunkalow, bigelow, whatever you call him. They shared bunk beds together or however that goes, but he was telling all. All right, let's go on here. Those audio tapes reveal that they are exculpatory of Mr. Norman. In other words, they constitute Brady materials that should have been produced immediately. They are exculpatory because in those audio tapes, Carroll flat out denies repeatedly and time again that he ever met with Hill and discussed the M potential murder or upcoming murder of Montgomery. Carroll stated affirmatively that Hill was in fact a liar based upon Hill's claims that such a meeting occurred. Really? Okay, wait a minute now. Number 7, Carroll made those exculpatory denials repeatedly and unequivocally. Indeed, the law enforcement investigators in those interviews asked him again and again. Finally, after exculpatorily denying repeatedly and over a long period of time that any such communication with Hill ever occurred, Carroll finally demanded to speak to a lawyer. The government intentionally withheld Carroll's exculpatory denials, which undeniably constitute Brady material. So they're saying that Carroll denied it. Oh my goodness. This is going to be something else. Although no showing of prejudice is necessary based upon this blatant violation of Brady, Mr. Norman and his counsel have clearly been prejudiced by this Brady violation in their trial preparation, particularly in that Carroll's statements go to the very heart of the government's M for hire prosecution. Those exculpatory statements could not be any more central to the government's case, and they could not be any more exculpatory of Mr. Norman. I thought Carroll said, wait a minute. Finally, Mr. Norman and his counsel request that the audio tapes containing the exculpatory statements of Carroll being docketed under seal in the event that Brady or non-Brady nature of those statements ever become an issue for review. Wherefore, defendant Timothy Norman, by and through his undersigned attorneys, respectfully moves this court for an entry of an order dismissing all charges against Mr. Norman for the docketing under seal of the Carroll audio files and for such other and further relief as is appropriate. So they just today filed a motion asking that all charges be dropped because they're saying that Chris Carroll's statements, oh my goodness. I thought we had what Chris Carroll admitted that he was I know Travell told them, so they saying that Chris Carroll never. No, he's an unnamed witness. He's working with the feds. No. They're just trying some. There's one more document to read. Let's see what it says, guys. Let me go over here and see what it says, because there is one more to read. Let me find it real quick. Oh, there's a lot going on today. There may be some more later on tonight. Every time they drop one, I'm coming live and I'm going over it with you because I pay good money for these documents. All right. This is the response to the motion. So this is the response. We're going to get this response. Let me see here. This is the response to the one on Michelle Griggs. Let me share it real quick. And this is the last one for today thus far. Okay, it's the last one for today. Well, now I won't say for today. It's the last one that I have right now. All right. So this is the one right here. It says it was filed on 9/5 as well. United States response. Now, this is their response, Tim and his attorneys, about Miss Michelle Griggs. Response in opposition to defendant's 8th motion. This is his 8th motion in limine to bar testimony of Michelle Griggs. Comes now the United States of America by and through Sailor A. Fleming, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, and Angie E. Dennis and Gwendolyn E. Carroll, AUSAs for said district, and for its response to defendant's 8th motion in limine to bar the testimony of Miss Michelle Griggs, mother of Dre. May he rest in peace. In light of the court's ruling at pretrial conference on Friday, September the 2nd, that Andre Montgomery's mother, Michelle Griggs, could remain in the courtroom during the trial in the above captioned matter. And let me just say that I just spoke with Uncle Willie Griggs about 15 minutes ago. That's all I'm going to say, okay? The government has elected to call her as a witness. Given this decision on September the 4th, 2022, 2 days prior to trial, the government disclosed to defendant Norman recordings totaling 57 minutes of an interview done of Miss Griggs. Further, the 8th Circuit Court has held repeatedly that although in many cases the government freely discloses the Jinx Act material in advance of trial, contrary to the defendant's suggestion, the government may not be required to do so. And they give you a case to go and look it up if you don't believe him. U.S. versus Wilson, okay? 1996. Internal citation admitted. See also U.S. versus Green, 1998. These cases stand firmly for the proposition that the government simply cannot be compelled to disclose Jinx Act material in advance of the time prescribed by the Act itself. The government has disclosed Michelle Griggs' statement prior to commencement of trial in this matter and thus has complied with the disclosure of obligations under the Jinx Act. Defendant Norman has cited no law in support of his motion to exclude, nor has he articulated any specific prejudice supporting an order precluding Michelle Griggs, the mother of the homicide victim, from testifying. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, the U.S. respectfully requests that this court deny, in big, bold caps, defendant Norman's 8th motion in limine, respectfully submitted, Sailor A. Fleming, U.S. State's Attorney, Angie Dennis and Gwendolyn Carroll. Oh, they doing their thing in St. Louis. They ready. They ready for whatever they trying to bring their way. Okay, guys, I just wanted to read you guys the latest from the court. Let me make sure they haven't dropped anything else while I'm on here right now, because you just never know, guys. Because they have to respond. Every time there's a motion, there has to be a response. So I want to read the responses as well. But so far, there's only been 3 things dropped on 9/5, and we have covered each of them. So you guys are well up to date with all of the latest documents that have been released by the court for the public. All right, now I'm going to get off and go try to make my baked beans. But just know this, if anything is released, I will come back and update you. All right, thank you guys. Let me see what y'all saying over here. Jesus, let nothing they do work. We must get justice for Dre. Oh, I know they tried to keep Miss Michelle Griggs out the courtroom, Miss Jackie, but it didn't happen. No. Justice for Dre, justice for Carlita. Why would she stay away from her son's trial? I don't know. But she will be there. She's on her way there. She's on her way. She's trying to get there. PPU won't rest today because they dropping more, baby. And if they do, I plan on coming back and letting you guys know what it's all about. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off just in case they do. I'm gonna go get some things done so I can come back. Thank you guys again for coming back. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying all these updates. But I told you, once the trial starts, we will be busy because I want to cover everything. And these documents are not free. So when I get them, I do want you to know what they say. All right. I'll talk to you later.